Ciao e benvenuti a Trento in Nord Italia. Io mi chiamo Michelle e io sono the Intrepid Guide. Located in the region of Trentino Alto Adige in the glacial valley is the beautiful city of Trento. So if you're coming to visit the city, let me show you some of the best things to do in Trento. Andiamo! Dominating Piazza del Duomo is the Cathedral of San Vigilio, which was built over the site of an existing 6th century church that was dedicated to the patron saint of Trent, St. Vigilius. You can visit the cathedral and I highly recommend you do because it is absolutely stunning. The Romans conquered Trento in the late 1st century, but before the Romans were here, this was a Celtic village. And in fact, the name actually derives from the Celtic god of waters, thanks to the location of the Adige River. In fact, the Romans actually kept a similar name. They called it Tridentine, also a reference to Neptune, and it literally translates to 3 teeth, which refers to the 3 mountains that surround Trento. You've got Sant'Agata, San Rocco and Dos Trento. And that's why you'll see a statue of Neptune in the Piazza del Duomo. Located in the Palazzo Pretorio is the Museo Diocesano, which was built in 1903 with the sole purpose of exhibiting and preserving the artwork from the surrounding churches in the Trentino area. And the artwork that you'll find here ranges from the 11th century all the way through to the 19th century. The original building that stood here was the Castelletto, where the Archbishop used to live, and from there adjoining buildings were added, including the Duomo, which you can also see through your visit here. Behind me is a painting of the Council of Trent, for which it became famous for in the 16th century, and it was in operation from 1545 to 1563. So the original building that was here was the Castelletto, which the Archbishop used to live in, and they created the Duomo right next to it. And they've got this little bridge that connects the 2 buildings. That way the Archbishop could come over here and watch the Mass happening below. I'm standing in Piazza Fiera, which literally translates to fair or market, and that's exactly what was here in the ancient times. Bordering the piazza is the Madruziano Tower, the Vagian Walls, the Diocesan Archive, and the Archbishop's Palace. So the reason why it's so loud here is because I'm at the Ordo di Ponte Alto, which is the Ponte Alto Gorge, and basically you'll find 2 dams here. The reason why these 2 dams were built was to protect the city from the rapid force of the river Fersina, which is coming from 2,000 meters up high. Now the river itself is only 35 kilometers long, but because of the high altitude it creates such force and it's carrying a lot of debris that if these dams weren't here it would completely destroy the city of Trento. Over the centuries they've built different dams and they've all been destroyed and they had to rebuild them to the one that you now see today. For a long time it was closed and finally it's reopened again to the public. But over the course of 10,000 years it took River Fersina to carve out this massive gorge. I'm currently in the MUSE Museum, or the Science Museum, located here in Trento, and it covers 6 floors. When you arrive at the museum they will send you straight up to the top floor to see the rooftop terrace, and then from there you work your way down through all the different floors. And as you do so you'll see that there's a natural progression of the animals that live at different altitudes. So starting at the top you'll have birds and all the way down to whales on the bottom floor. The most important castle in Trentino is the Buonconsiglio Castle, where I'm standing now. This was the residence of the Prince Bishops. Today this well-preserved fortress hosts the Provincial Museum of Art. Egypt isn't the only place that has pyramids. Located northeast of Trento are the pyramids of Segonzano. These natural pinnacles stand 20 meters high and they were formed as the result of glacial sediment being eroded by the combined action of wind, water and rain. The pinnacles are unique to the Trento region and they attract scientists and tourists from all over the world. One of the best ways to relax and sit and watch the world go by is in the Giardini Pubblici, or the public gardens. This is the Piazza di Dante Alighieri. Dante Alighieri was a famous Italian poet who was born in 1265 and he died in 1321. Now the reason why he's so important is that he wrote in Vulgar Latin, or the language of the people, because at the time everyone who was a noble or a priest and the monks, they all spoke and in Latin, and it wasn't the language of the people. He wrote the Divina Commedia, or the Divine Comedy, and it helped to standardize the Italian language. So thanks to him, we have the standard language that you learn today in school.
Good love is, yeah, something that I know you cannot give me. Good love is.
One of the best things to do is to take the funicular up to the mountain and have incredible views like these. It takes about 3 minutes to come up and it's free with the Visit Trentino card, so I highly recommend you get one of those. Located high up on the Dos Trento hill overlooking the Adige river is this beautiful mausoleum dedicated to Cesare Battisti, who was famous for fighting for the annexation of the Trentino region to Italy before it was unified. Cesare was from Trento, so hence why there is such an impressive monument dedicated to him. So if you walk around the monument, you can see an inscription on the inside that's written in Italian, and if you want to know what it means in English, it actually translates to a Cesare Battisti, so dedicated to Cesare Battisti, who prepared Trento to the unification of the homeland and to new destinies. One thing you'll notice about Trento is how many towers there are. The one behind me is called Torre Vanga, which acted as the western bastion on the city walls during the medieval times. Today it is the seat of expositions on behalf of the MUSE Museum, as well as the Superintendents of Historical and Artistic Heritage of Trento. Well, that's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this video about the best things to do in Trento. If you have, leave a nice big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, and if you have any questions whatsoever, leave them down in the comments below and I'll get right back to you. Until next time, ciao, arrivederci, alla prossima, bye!